you guys. Well, I'm in school or something.
Is this bothering you?
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Whatever Hawkeye wants, Hawkeye gets. That's my motto. You tell me.
No, that's right.
We are thrilled you are here with us today. Can't wait to get into some of these topics that we're going to talk about, your work, your work in philanthropy, anything else that you've been doing. But first, please let everybody know how much you've been enjoying your time here in San Antonio.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. It's always, you know, I love these things. It's to engage with real fans and people that really have something in common. It's always a great treat for me. So you guys have been so great so far. You've been very kind. So I appreciate your kindness and thoughtfulness. And I gotta see some of my friends. I'm never gonna see my friends. A problem, like, when you're an Avenger. All your Avenger friends are just as busy as you are, so you never get to see them. But you got a few of them here today, so I'm so excited. Right? And Elizabeth and Paul. It's so cool to be able to squeeze in. I haven't seen them since the incident or accident, if you whatever you want to call it. But so it's been a minute, so it's nice to see my friends.
You also need to reunite with Clark. Clark's here as well.
What happened?
You need to reunite with Clark. Yeah, Clark is here.
I don't know anything. I'm hiding behind a curtain, and you guys come in and...
You let him know. I want to go see Clark as soon as we're done here.
I'm not walking the floor typically at a Comic-Con.
All right, you got a ton of things we need to talk about. So first off, I'm going to be a little bit selfish here and talk about one of my favorite projects of yours, 28 Weeks Later. Any fans? Let's go back, because I'm a huge zombie fan, and I love 28 Weeks Later. The story was so unique because the military was just as dangerous, or more so than, the infected in that movie. What are some of your fondest memories working on that project?
That's a great franchise, right? I love that. That's my first sort of foray into, like, I guess horror, if you will. But I like it's very very highbrow sort of storytelling, very kind of realistic in this narrative. My favorite memories are like Harold Perrineau and I became very good friends, and our families have been very close since then. It was a long time ago, like 2006, I think, 7 when we shot it. But yeah, it's like I got to shoot that in London and go kill zombies for it. That's awesome, dude.
I wouldn't mind seeing you do it again sometime.
Well, it's got to be in a different. Can't be that character, right?
Not be that one.
Not to spoil it, but the movie's been around a while. If you haven't seen it by now, I die in it. Okay. In a very fiery way.
Wait, a heroic way. All right. Any other fans of that one here?
It's not a spoiler for decades that have gone by and you haven't seen it, right? Can't spoil it for you.
All right. A lot of folks here want to talk about The Hurt Locker. Any fans? The Hurt Locker seemed like a big turning point in your career. It earned you your first Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
What was the psychological toll of inhabiting a soldier addicted to sort of the chaos of war? And can you describe yourself how you prepared to tell such a authentic story for an individual stationed in conflict in the Middle East?
Yeah, that was a big learning curve for me. I spent a year and a half or so at Fort Irwin. They called it Santa's workshop, and it's where you build bombs and then you just render them safe. There's 2 lines, and these guys are building them, and these people over here on this side of the alley, kind of like horse stalls, and they're rendering all the bombs safe. It was an interesting, great gift, really, to kind of be welcomed into someone's job, and the job happens to be a pretty important one. And you realize, all these guys that are sort of in the military. These are not guys that are typical. They're more like strong in their brain than they are by brawn. Like most of them are kind of like school teachers. I found, like kind of like nerdy, like weird, small-looking, frail guys. Almost kind of like me, I suppose. But they do the most dangerous, crazy job, and it was great to really get into their head and understanding of who they are, why they do what they do, and then you go into combat and what that's about. And we were filming that film during combat when we were in the Iraq War, and we were filming on the border of Iraq, so it was more real than I needed to be. But we were just actors. We had no bullets, and we were getting shot at, so that sucked. We kind of wish just give me a grenade or something so I can protect myself. But it was really, and also the conditions. You know, you realize it gets hot here in Texas, right? But it's you know, it's $1.35 there. You know, I don't know if it really gets $1.35 here, and then a 100-pound bomb suit. So I remember, like, we have, you know, we as actors, we put on makeup, we just put our hands in the sand, and just do that, and we're camera ready, good to go. And,
so what you're saying is Hollywood is not all glitz and glamour.
There's nothing. No. And also, if you wanted to get away from the flies, just go to where all the food is, because the flies wouldn't even go by the food. So that's how we're fly free, you know.
The fact that that's a problem that you guys had on set blows my mind.
Yeah, there's no glamour in this, but you know, there's a lot of glory that came from it, and that movie means so much, I think, to so many people, but especially Kathryn Bigelow. That's the first female director to ever win an Academy Award for Best Director, right?
Well, that
really broke the ceiling on that one, and really deserved. And it happened to be that year against her husband, who did Avatar, the biggest grossing movie of all time, and we were like the lowest grossing Academy Award nominated movie of all time, and she won, and I love it. And it's a better film anyway, you know, I'm just gonna say, Avatar.
James has enough Academy
I know,
Awards.
that guy's got enough.
He doesn't need any more.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about the Mission Impossible franchise. Any
Yes.
fans there?
Yeah.
You've been a part of a handful of those films. What was it like stepping into such a high-octane global franchise, and what did you take away from working alongside a legend like Tom Cruise?
Yeah, Tom, that was, I mean, those movies are just cool anyway. It's not as fantasy as, like, say, a Marvel movie or any of those, but it feels so fantasy-like because we're like in the Burj Khalifa for the Ghost Protocol, and him swinging around that building like a crazy man. And he taught me how to approach action films. This is early in my sort of action sort of career, how to approach it like a professional athlete in sport, and preparation of your body, because you do have to prepare physically very intensely so you don't get injured. I think the most dangerous thing that we could ever do on film is just running, because you could roll your ankle pretty easily and then you're shutting down production just by running. Everything else is very prepared for you if you're in any sort of situation, but he's a great guide to have a mentor to show you sort of the ropes of stunt world, for sure.
Okay, so speaking of running, Tom the joke is that he's just the best, like, on-screen runner in the history. Like, what is it about Tom and his form? Did he tell you anything about that, or what is it that makes him so, like, awe-inspiring when he's running down?
Yeah, I don't think it's just about the running. You know, I get it, like he does run like in pretty much every movie.
Every movie.
Oh, yeah, but before that, it's sort of his drive. He's got a strong drive to want to entertain and keep things exciting and whatever it might be. If running is exciting, then he's going to run. But, you know, if it's not appropriate, like if he was doing a scene with me and he just started sprinting, I'm like, I trip him or something. I'm like, I'm not running after you. It's not going to happen. Especially now. It's certainly not going to happen. But no, he cares about really entertaining audiences. He cares about that. And like, we had to do a thing of running a scene together in Ghost Protocol, I think, or one of the two. And so we're sprinting alongside each other and headed. But I remember it's not going as fast as you think it is. So we have to look like we're running fast, and it's going slow because the ground was really uneven and pretty dangerous for us to get injured. So we have to really just look like we're running fast, but we're really like this, you know, we're not going very fast at all.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. Movie magic.
Can we talk about this small role that you've had over the last decade or so called Hawkeye?
Oh, yes. I don't die in that one. I'm not dead in that series.
I think they're fans of your work as Hawkeye. Let's stick with a couple of more recent projects in the MCU. So, the opening scene of Endgame. one of my all-time favorites in the MCU, if not just like cinema. Clint goes to this dark phase as Ronin. You lost your family, your wife and kids in that opening sequence.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I've watched thousands of movies with a live audience. I don't think I've ever heard an audience response to Clint turning and not seeing his daughter when she gets snapped away.
Yeah.
Like the gasp, the jaws, you heard everybody's jaw hit the floor. And that was truly just a great moment. Clint was also, you were also portraying a grief-stricken, morally ambiguous version of him. Can you shed some light on just that whole creative process of getting to that mindset of Clint losing his family and going on this sort of vigilante run?
Yeah, you know, that scene was supposed to be at the end of, what was the one before?
Infinity War.
Endgame?
Infinity War.
Infinity War. I wasn't in it, but it was supposed to be at the end of it. It was supposed to be at the end of Infinity War, and then it goes into Ronin land, I suppose. But then so it didn't work. It just bookended this whole thing with a lot of things happen in Endgame, you guys. A lot of things. I have to remind myself. So yeah, Ronin. Yes. So Ronin comes into play because of what happened to his family, and yeah, the blip and all that stuff. Okay. It's 2017, 2018. Okay. Had a haircut, right? There's a different haircut going on.
It's a great haircut, right?
It's I love the. There's only one scene we showed with the Ronin, so it had to come in with a lot of force. Got to work with a really tremendous legend actor in that scene, but it's just sort of it's just kind of the tail end of the Ronin run of just sort of vengeance, being reactive to what's happened instead of being, it's sort of the dark side of Clint Barton is just Ronin, right? Instead of the light side, being more heroic. That's how I sort of play it. It's still the same person, it's just in a different costume, and it's expressing a negative side of him. It's just, he's only killing bad guys still, but he's still just killing them, right? Just to kill them. So it's not the right way, not really sort of justified. And that's when Scarlett steps in and says, like, what are you doing? Come back to this side, let's get some stuff done. But it's a lot going on in that movie, man. It's a lot going on.
Speaking of Scarlett, the most emotional moment of the film by far is the mission to obtain the Soul Stone on Vormir with Natasha. The scene was obviously crafted to perfection, but what was your sort of first reaction on reading the script on how it would all go down, and what did those scenes in Endgame mean to you personally?
Yeah, you don't really kind of know this stuff going right straight away, but then there's whisperings of it, and then the scene is written, and then you're like, okay, then we shot the scene, but that scene's not in the movie. It's a very different scene. There's much more galactic and more aliens and a lot more stuff going on. And then we reshot it to make it much simpler to the scene that's in the movie now. It was much more emotional, much more impactful, I think. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to do that scene. It was a celebration also of, like, it's like saying goodbye to somebody and then saying, it's like there's 22 films before this that made this scene happen, right? So there's such a great kind of celebration as well as like very, very emotional. Like, it's like, I think it was Scarlett's one of the last scenes anyway. Pretty emotional time. A lot of years have gone by, and shared stories and life shared. So it was, I don't know, it was pretty real enough for us to kind of feel it in that scene. It was beautiful the way to share it with her.
And we loved it, right?
Yeah.
We're not done with Hawkeye yet. After that came the Hawkeye series. Any fans? The series brought together a stellar cast during the holidays. Vera Farmiga, Tony Dalton, who I absolutely love, Vincent D'Onofrio, Lachlan Cox, and of course, your protege, Hailee Steinfeld. Anybody know her? What are some of your fondest memories on working on that project?
The cast, for sure. I mean, we shot this during, the height of COVID too, so it was pretty tricky. Everyone was like in 3 different masks, 25 feet apart. Like, it was like super, it was weird. But, the actors had to see the actors, and, we wrote to some people a lot. And I don't know anybody else actually that was on the show, because it was like hidden. But it was great to, the script, like when I saw the opening, like the Avengers musical thing, I'm like, oh, this is great. I love this show already. And it's set in New York at Christmas. It's kind of no better setting, beautiful. I love the family element to it. We got to spend a little bit more time with Clint being the dad. He's kind of the dad of the Marvel Universe in a lot of ways anyway. The sort of grounding rod for why we fight for what we fight for anyway. It was nice to be able to explore that. It was tough to, in all the Avenger films, to kind of get into a lot of that and really touch on it. It was great to really explore that with family, and I enjoyed it. There's a great sense of humor to it, good action. I loved it, man. Hopefully we can come back to it again.
We got a ton of fan questions. First one comes from Jake Welch. Jake, where you at, my friend? Too many people here. I can't see him.
He's in the bathroom, probably.
But this goes kind of along. This kind of goes along with the series.
It does.
Yeah, Jake wants to know how was it working with Hailee on the set of Hawkeye?
She's so great. The kind of the relationship that we had off camera was similar to the setup of how it was on camera, but as far as like me being in the MCU for so long, and her kind of coming in, just kind of give her some hints and tips to spend some time in the gym with the stunt people. So we all did what we really need to do. And she's great, man. She's a hard worker, and she's so charming. She's lovely to work with. She's the best. I love her.
She's so talented. Like, if we didn't already know it on your series, like, she's gone on to do Sinners and a number of other things, and she's just incredible.
Yeah, she's always been great. She's been great since she was a child.
We have another question here from Alexandra. I'm assuming there's probably multiple Alexandras here with questions. But what... Oh, right here, second row. What was the hardest scene for you to film?
In life? In my career?
Career, let's go. That's a big list.
Oh my goodness, hardest. I don't know. What's the hardest scene? Well, the one that popped out is they didn't have to do much in it besides not die. And it was the Burj Khalifa scene where I had to hang out the window and hang on to Tom's foot. It was only difficult because I didn't trust the guy holding me. He's on his phone, right? And I'm like sliding out of this window. I could have made 10 phone calls before I hit the ground. And I blame the guy that was holding me. He didn't hold me very well. I'm about to hit the ground in about a couple minutes. But yeah, it was the most, well, also because everyone's like tied to something because the window's taken out of this, you're like a mile high in the air, and there's a vacuum of wind that kind of sucks you out anyway, and I'm in slacks on a tile floor, so I'm just getting sucked out as we go anyway. And the guy was on his phone, just holding me with a rope attached to my belt. I'm like, dude, he's playing Angry Birds or something. I'm like, dude, I'm angrier than you right now. Come on.
We had a question here from Omar. Omar, where you at, sir? Right over here. Omar wants to know, what is your funniest moment while working on set?
I mean, it's funny now what I just said, but it was not funny then. Oh, I don't know, man. I feel like there's fun at every turn, even like on a heavy show like Mayor of Kingstown. We always find joy in what we do.
Like, y'all better clap for that.
I play make-believe for a living, right? So every day is fun. Some scenes aren't as as fun or light or whatever, but you always find joy, and always remind myself that I play make-believe for a living, like I'm an 8-year-old on a playground. Every day is fun.
But you do it so well.
I enjoy it. I enjoy myself.
No question here, but it is regarding your film Arrival. Any fans of Arrival?
I love that
In the film Arrival, Amy's character asks you if you could see your whole life from start to finish, what would you what things would you change? Your character replies, I'd say what I feel more often. Do you agree? And would your answer be different?
Well, I mean, ironically, that did happen to me. And I think the outcome of it is just that, is I find myself, you know, having a near-death experience, coming back and being more connected, being more open, being more vulnerable, and it is the most freeing, glorious love that I could share with myself, my daughter, my family, and everyone around me. So happy to be here.
We are too. So you've actually written a memoir about it.
Yes.
I've started it. We're all gonna we're all gonna either buy a copy today or go listen to the audiobook, right guys? This question is kind of about that. After your accident, how did you find the strength to keep going in? How do you think fans could, despite the hurdles in their own lives? This is from Destiny. Destiny, where are you at? Right here.
Yeah, those are things I tried to explore. There's no easy answer to it. I feel like there's first and foremost, for me, personally, there was a lot to live for. Even though I didn't want to come back, there was actually a lot to live for. My family, my daughter, all these things. And then you realize there's a lot of love, there are prayers for you as I was in a coma. Didn't know, but then it became some global sort of news story. It just happened in my driveway, right? Me and my nephew. It was me against the snowcat, and I lost. And but to find the strength, I think it required a village, man. It required so much. It required my own strength, with my own reasons to live, survive. But there's other things that were at play that helped me along. There's probably 150 people just on the day of the accident to get me to survive, from the EMTs to the helicopter pilots to all the trauma nurses and ICU doctors, and I mean, it was just an army of people to get me to not die. Okay, so the strength is I feel like it was given to me by a bunch of people, and I guess it wasn't my time to go. So it was my duty to be better for all those that didn't let me go. So I do the best I can with every moment and every breath and every step to have a very purposeful, intended life, to give is all and everything I can, with every waking breath.
Starting the book and hearing about you describe some of the elements of the entire ordeal, I feel like they gave you a chance, and it was really also your own willpower after that to kind of come back and be kind of as close to yourself as possible. Seeing you here now, hearing you talk and everything else, I would never know that had gone on. And I think they gave you an amazing opportunity, and it was a miraculous situation, but also the long recovery process after that. I think that's all you, man. I don't know how anybody else could come out of that. Like you did.
There's the recovery. It's a ripple effect to something that happens, right? A lot of people can relate to adversity. A lot of people can relate to obstacles, because we're always going to have those in our lives. And how we choose to overcome our own personal obstacles will determine how much more room and space we make for joy and love and happiness, right? But we're all going to have some sort of suffering. And we're all going to have these obstacles in our lives, and how we choose to deal with them is really, really important. So I think that it's not about, an injury so much, but, I focused on my family getting better. Because I saw the horror look on their faces when they look at me with my eye all duct taped beside my head. And, I mean, it's terrible, right? But what can I do to relieve them of this terrible feeling? Because they're feeling it too. I wouldn't want to be in their position. So I relieve myself of trying to get better for me. It's like I have to get better for them. And so it was easy because there's a one-way street. Either get better or what's the alternative? Suffer? Moan, right, complain. I just had to get better every day. Now, I wasn't like trying to I'm going to walk the next moment, but maybe I just move my elbow a little bit more. It's like I set sort of intended milestones for myself, just to keep going, to stay positive. If you don't stay positive, I don't stay moving forward, what's going to happen? No matter how many people love me, they're not going to fix me. I have to. So it was kind of easy just setting the course for there's no going back. There's only one way to do it, getting effing better for my family. And I have to remind myself that it's wrestling, right? I got tested to my limits, but in doing so, there's been great superpower gifts that came to me for it. And if people can relate to it, which I hope they can take something from it, they don't have to get tested like I was to get some of the gifts, and that's kind of why I wrote the book.
I think we can help with that. You guys taking anything away from what you just said? We have another question from Hannah from Dallas, Texas. Hannah, where you at?
Dallas, Texas.
Way back there. Number one, she says you're her favorite.
Is that here?
Number two, she says, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given, and how has that advice shaped your life or career?
Well, the piece of advice actually made me find my career. My dad, when I was going to college, I couldn't afford, nor could he, nor could my mom, nor could anybody in my family, afford to get me to go to Berkeley or some of these schools that I was allowed to go to. And also didn't know what I was going to study, so I said to my dad, I don't want to go into student debt and pay for all this money and not know what I'm paying for. I had everything, but he just allowed me to just try stuff that I wasn't interested in or didn't know, and just try it. And it's okay to go suck at it. And just go try things and fail, who cares? Or just go try things, is really what he cared about. So I did. I took not only 9 units that he asked, I took 26 units at the local junior college. And one of the courses was an acting class. I knew nothing about acting, like zero. Outside I was watching a show called Family Ties or whatever I was watching in the 80s and 90s, right? And I took the course and then I fell in love with it, and then chose acting as a career, and it kind of worked out all right. Yeah? But thanks, Dad. It encouraged me to go for it.
I think more parents of this sort of era or this generation also need to kind of hear that, because there's so much pressure these days.
Yeah.
To either be something, have a plan, have things involved in your life, but not too often do you hear something like, just try something out and see what happens.
Right. It allows you to kind of find yourself, right? That's a confidence builder too, right? How much confidence I got out of finding out on my own. He was very surprised, by the way, when I told him, I found what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And he's like, get out of here. You're only 18. I'm like, I promise you. And yeah, but it's also too like the idea of our failures. Like my greatest successes are all my failures. All the things I failed at. Those are the greatest things that happened in my life. Not like winning something, not succeeding at something. The greatest life lessons were all those failures. Great.
Nobody clap for that.
Yeah.
All right, this might take you back a little bit. Rob, where you at, Rob? Over here in the orange. Has all of your success made up for going to the second best high school in Modesto? Hashtag Davis Rules. The fact that you waited this long to ask this question and keep this rivalry going is epic. Legend.
Yeah, Davis High School, yeah, no, it's not a good school. I don't think fire was it. I don't know. It's funny. Back to high school. 1989. Yeah.
Where's my class of 89?
Class of 89?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Legend, sir. Legend. Let's see here. You've had a number of fancy arrows as Hawkeye. Is there a personal favorite of yours that you have?
Well, we got to explore a lot of those in the series, and not so much. We did some of them in the Avengers in the films, but we got to explore a lot of fun ones in the series. And I thought of like, oh, well, I can get really creative with these. It's a favorite one. Just because Elizabeth is here, I think maybe the one I used on her.
That's when you use by hand, right? When you shock
Yeah, pull it out and shock her, yeah. Electrocute her with it. Sorry, girl. I love you.
This one's from, I'm going to say it wrong, I'm sorry. Tatiana Clark? Tatiana Clark? With the shield, over here. How good have you gotten at archery in real life?
It's ironic. I got actually really good, and then you could use none of these skills in any of the movies. It's like real archery does not allow for Hawkeye to succeed. It's too slow. You can't shoot multiple arrows, but the skill set is actually really great, and I'm able to use it. I teach kids at camps that I have, and so it's still really cool skill set. It just doesn't work as superhero archery. And you can't shoot arrows anyway because it's got to go somewhere. And I'd be killing a whole lot of crew members just from my close-up. It would be terrible. So it's all CGI arrows I'm pulling out, right?
It always looks so effortless because it is all CGI, and so you're just sometimes there. I remember in the first Avengers, you're talking to somebody and you're just keep going and you're just looking around and it's like, he's not even trying, or those aren't real or something, but yeah, there you go. Hollywood magic.
Yeah,
folks,
or if they're real arrows, you see all these people dying.
You brought up the camps, and I think that's a great place to go next because you, sir, you have your own foundation, and I think everybody here would love to learn about. About what you've been doing.
Yeah, there's the opportunity. It's always something I've been wanting to do ever since Endgame came out, because that's when kids. I was dropping off my daughter, who was 5 at the time, in kindergarten class for the first time, and at the school, and Endgame had just came out. And I dropped her off very nervously in the little trailer, and I came down the trailer, and people were screaming, "That's Jeremy Renner." I'm like, dude, there's like 7-year-olds on this little campus. How do they know my first and last name? It's so weird. And then like 30 kids come running at me with cell phones, like zombies. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrifying. Jeremy Renner, like what? So I said, I grabbed the oldest kid, like, get her number, we did this one son, like, get back in the classroom before the second bell comes, I'm gonna get locked on campus, all these things. And I went home and I was like so freaked out. Like, why all these little kids knew my first and last name? Like, maybe Hawkeye they would say, you'd think, right? And now they're saying my first and last name. Strange. But then I realized there's a real, like, I didn't like being a celebrity prior, but being a celebrity to kids was the coolest thing ever. I realized there was a huge weight that was lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, wow, that was really the coolest thing ever. And ever since then, having access to kids, being the oldest of 7 in my own family, and birthing a couple and having my own, and it's just the coolest thing ever. So then, my sister works for DCFS, Child Protective Services, in LA County, and one of my best girlfriends does it in Nevada. So I've been around foster kids for a decade or so, and I really hated the narrative and the stories that were happening to these kids, and I was really angry what was happening to them. And instead of getting angry and wanting to hurt people that were hurting these kids, I decided to do something instead of being reactive. Let me be proactive, and I started a foundation to give them opportunities, the love, the kindness, and even some of them as they age out of foster care, some housing, a vehicle, some wraparound services with financial literacy, just some mentorship, things like that to move the needle along and pave the way for some of these kids that have been marginalized and set aside. And I love them to death. 400,000 kids in the foster care system today, and I intend to reach each and every one of them. helps a little bit, right? It does. It does help a little bit.
That's remarkable. I love hearing that, man. Truly, truly.
Yeah, my whole family gets involved too, so it makes it like something that we can all do together. So there's real, vast. This is like something I'll be doing for the rest of my life. So it's an honor and blessing to do so, and I'm really glad to do it with my family. My daughter gets involved. She wants to be a counselor, and it's really, really great, man. I'm blessed to be able to do it.
And because we are all moved by your work and your philanthropy, where can every single one of these folks find out more about it, and how can they assist?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's a Renovation Foundation, on Instagram and things you can follow, and if you want to come help out, it's always great. I always love volunteers. We get a lot of showing at every event we go to. But I always love volunteers and assistants. It's the greatest thing ever.
You're also a musician.
You do music? Yeah.
Sandra Jones, where are you, Sandra? She's standing up waiting.
Hi, Sandra.
She would like to know, are you going to make another music album?
Yes, of course. I'll always make music. It's just the time, time, even though it's a human construct, I still am human. I gotta live by it, and I have to heal. I gotta do other things first, and then I'll find time for it. It's a huge part of my life, and it always will be.
Speaking of singing, do you have a go-to favorite karaoke song? This is from Karina. Karina, where are you at? She's over there.
Oh, what did I do? I did that. Karaoke so much. I did like New York State of Mine was a good one. I did a lot. Billy Joel. And Queen. I always sing a lot of Queen. A lot of, yeah.
That's tough.
Well, I do something easy.
Hey! Billy, it's funny, Billy was here literally a year ago in town performing, and he still got it.
He's awesome.
He's incredible.
He's so good.
And he's like up and dancing. I'm like, I don't think he knows how old he is. You're not supposed to move like that at that age. Final question about some of your other work. You have a new season 4 premiere of Mayor of Kingstown. Any fans? Bro, the premiere is tomorrow. What can you share with us about the new season?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. I just watched some of the scenes on the way over here. Because I was in New York doing press for it all this week. And yeah, it is something. It's an intense show. It's not for everyone. It's not for the youth. But it's terrific this season. Very, very excited. Got some new characters. Falco. She's a terrific actress. She's new to it, but it's an intense season. You're not going to want to miss a moment. So if you get to go to the restroom, you hit a pause on it because in 2 minutes at every turn, something's on the line. If it was a book, it'd be a page turner for sure.
I love that. You guys ready for tomorrow? We are just about out of time, but all these beautiful faces are going to come see you at your table, I'm sure. And the last thing I want to say is you are an award-winning actor, producer, musician, but most importantly, you, sir, are a beacon of hope. Your story is one of resilience, a true depiction of the human spirit. We thank you for sharing your story with us, and know that I feel your legacy will continue to inspire many.
Thank you.